Hezbollah's chief doubled down on his group's refusal to give up its weapons ahead of talks between Lebanese officials and visiting US envoys after the government's decision to disarm the group. Under heavy US pressure and fears of Israel expanding its military action, Lebanon's government this month tasked the army with drawing up a plan to disarm the Iran-backed Hezbollah by this year's end. Let's listen in to what Hezbollah leader Naim Qassem had to say.
السلاح الذي أعزنا لن نتخلى عنه والسلاح الذي يحمينا من عدونا لن نتخلى عنه لن نترك إسرائيل تسرح وتمرح في بلدنا وتقتل المقاومين وتصادر الجنوب. هذا السلاح روحنا وشرفنا وأرضنا وكرامتنا ومستقبل أطفالنا.
In another development, spokesman for the Houthi-run health ministry stated that the death toll from Israel's latest airstrikes on Yemen's capital has risen to 10, while more than 100 were wounded. Israeli forces struck Yemen's capital, Sana'a, days after the Houthis fired a missile towards Israel. In response to that, Israel targeted the oil facility and the power plant in the capital of Sana'a. We are once again joined by Eylon Pinkas to discuss this further. Eylon, of course, the Houthis and Hezbollah, both Iran-backed proxies, much like Hamas in the Gaza Strip. These are obviously groups that show severe hostility towards the Israeli state. Can I get your insight into how Israel and yourself feel about the current capabilities of them, the current negotiations in the disarmament of Hezbollah and the current military actions of the Houthis?
Yeah, sure, Thomas. The capabilities have been significantly degraded militarily, technologically, in terms of infrastructure and bases. Both Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, and obviously Hamas in Gaza. But you have to look at the broader picture, the broader geopolitical picture. Iran set up and Iran constructed very carefully and very meticulously a network of proxy organizations. If you will, it's like franchises, like McDonald's or, any kind of a chain restaurant. There's a revolutionary regime in Iran, and it has franchisees in Lebanon, Hezbollah, Hamas in Gaza, the Houthis in southwest Yemen. Now, Hezbollah for many years presented the most challenging because it was the best armed and, in fact, it best funded and best armed of all these proxy organizations. But the most important thing about Hezbollah, which is how you began your report on this, Thomas, is that they basically established a state within a state in Lebanon. The Houthis took over parts of Yemen. Hamas took over Gaza, but the West Bank is still under the Palestinian Authority's control. But in Lebanon, not only did Hezbollah grow militarily and become a major political factor, they essentially challenged the Lebanese government. In between, geographically and politically, there was Syria. Syria under the regime of Bashir Assad, who was a conduit for the Iranians to funnel funds and particularly arms. Ever since the war in Gaza began in October 2023, Israel essentially waged a war against all three proxies, Hamas, Houthis, and Hezbollah, but also against Iran. Obviously, you recall the 12-day war in June, just 2.5 months ago. So geopolitically, that network, that web of proxies has been weakened. But Hezbollah still refuses to disarm, which is why we're talking about these negotiations.
Eylon Pinkas, thank you very much. Pleasure to get that analysis from you, and thank you very much for taking the time in joining.